Welcome to the Automotive Blockchain Channel Bus, everybody, as well as real life utility, bringing you a video that has to do with real world utility as well as real life utility. So what's going on today in the Automotive Blockchain Channel Bus? All right, so Alfa Romeo has recently, earlier this year, they mentioned to us, they said, hey, we're going to be releasing a new vehicle called the Tonale. It could be the Tonale, I'm just saying Tonale. And the Tonale is going to be, according to them, the first vehicle that literally is going to be recording the information to the blockchain, but also going to be creating an NFT, okay? So with the owner's consent, and this is the global of marketing for Alfa Romeo has said this, is that when the vehicle is purchased, upon purchase, with the owner's consent, it will then start recording all of the valuable information about the vehicle, which subsequently would be able to benefit the car's overall residual value. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Tonale is a compact SUV that Alfa Romeo is putting out. And just in case no one knows this, or some of you don't know this, Alfa Romeo is owned by Stellantis slash the old Fiat Chrysler company. Okay, so here we go. So when you keep that in mind and you're thinking about this real world utility of that, what's the benefit of that? Well, the benefit of this is that when the car gets serviced, when the car has, let's say, for instance, get fixed, or if there's some type of recall in the car, all of that gets done and recorded on the blockchain with respect to this NFT. And along with that, what ends up going to happen is that then when the car gets resold, it'll all of a sudden have a positive effect on its the residual value of that. I like to say, too, because this is the Automotive Blockchain Channel Bus, folks, that I think, and this is my opinion, that the technology in and of itself, not necessarily Alfa Romeo, but the technology in and of itself could have a positive or negative effect on residual value of a vehicle. Because here's the thing, as let's say, for instance, everybody knows not everyone gets their vehicle serviced on time, or they put non-OEM related parts or components, accessories, etc. onto their vehicles. So as you begin to do that, picture a technology, and this is just me kind of thinking about where things are going. Again, I'm not saying Alfa Romeo is doing this. I'm just talking about what's happening what I see happening, personally I see happening in the future. As you begin to see this technology roll out, let's say, for instance, you're not getting your maintenance done on time, or you're not, you're adding whatever type of components to your vehicle. There'll be technology out there, software out there that'll say, hey, this is going to affect your residual value of the overall vehicle. Would you like to go ahead and proceed? And there'll be a yes or a no along with that. So I kind of see that out there as being a positive or negative as it pertains to the residual values. Now, a positive associated with that has a lot to do, quite frankly, with the fact that if there's a recall on it, you can be able to tell if the recall was done when you get ready to buy a pre-owned vehicle. You can look at the residual value or look at the record of the blockchain in the digital certificate and go, okay, clearly this particular thing was not, the recall was not done. They didn't get their maintenances done on time. They skipped a few maintenance schedules. So the oil change was 4,000 overdue, or the brakes were 4,000 overdue. And in this particular case, electric vehicle, the battery was not inspected at year 5 or something like that. So it's just one of those things that you kind of have to keep in mind. All right, so that's going to be a plus. Now, what about the real life utility with this? See, the real life utility with this is that when it comes to blockchain, it comes to NFTs, and in Alfa Romeo's case, as they've stated, they're saying that when the owner gives consent, then the NFT gets put in place, so to speak, and then from there, everything gets recorded. That's kind of like, I look at that as saying, when you give consent to things in real life, what do you give consent to? See, because the real life utility of all this is we give consent to things all day long. As soon as you give that nod to temptation, as soon as you give that nod, the other day I was at the grocery store. This is a perfect example. I was at the grocery store, and you know what? That temptation for that yummy, yummy, delicious sweet thing called an oatmeal raisin cookie was totally just attacking me. And I gave into the temptation. Well, every single time I would give into that, not just only in the past, it has led to me so easily just diving right into the oatmeal raisin cookie, all right? It's just an easy thing. You put one in front of my face and I'm going to gobble it up faster than Cookie Monster, all right? It's just one of those things. Now, that being said, though, is that when you think about the deeper temptations of life, when you're trying to overcome obstacles, if you're one of those people who are addicted to certain things, the more you give consent to the things that are around you, like going to that party or going to that that social event that has the alcohol there or has the drugs that you've been trying to get off of there, then the harder it's going to be to overcome those things. Now, I've never had a battle personally with alcohol. I've never had a battle at all with any type of drugs, illicit drugs, all that kind of stuff. That's never been part of my lifestyle. But I know there are people out there struggling. And you know what's funny? Funny about this is that so many people ignore the fact that there's plenty of people out there struggling with things, and they don't stop to think that I may be a contributor to having someone else give consent. And as soon as you give consent, whether you're doing it personally or you're putting that carrot out there for someone else to make it easier for them to give consent, that thing is recorded for a lifetime and it can never be pulled back. You can't pull back words you say. You can't pull back actions you said. What you can bestly do is apologize, but no matter what, that impression is still going to be on there. So I say this as a get rid of sign off in this video is that, yes, going back to Alfa Romeo, you have to give consent in that vehicle in order for the record to be recorded in the blockchain. But in real life utility, be careful where you give consent to things in your life that are just strong temptations, because once it's out there, sometimes you give consent to one thing and it just leads to another and another, putting you down a path that you never really wanted to go down. So that's it. This is the Automotive Blockchain channel and Real Life Utility, bringing you the good stuff. Let me know what you think of the video, going live at it. And hey, check out the Alfa Romeo. Ciao.